So you've done all the hard work. You've fought your way out of debt, and that's huge. But now you're facing an even bigger question: what's next? Today, we're diving into the brutal but absolutely essential order of building wealth, for real.
I mean, think about it. You've finally done it. You cleared the debts, those monthly payments are finally gone, and you should be popping the champagne, right? But for so many of us, there's this weird feeling. Almost like, okay, now what? You're free, but you might also feel like you're just standing at the starting line all over again. And that feeling is there for a reason. Because celebrating that milestone is one thing, but what you do in the moments right after, that's what truly separates just surviving from building genuine, lasting wealth. Getting this next part wrong is a trap, and it keeps millions of people stuck for life. All right, so let's get real. To understand why your next move is so critical, we have to look at the financial reality we're all living in. We gotta face the harsh truth, the brutal math that impacts pretty much everyone. So let's start with this number. The projected median household income is sitting at around $88,000. And on the surface, you might think, hey, that sounds pretty decent. But let's see how that number actually holds up when you put it up against, well, life. And this is where it gets really eye-opening. Against that $88,000 income, the average expenses are just under $83,000. Just look at that tiny little gap between those two bars. That right there is the incredibly thin margin for error most families are dealing with. There is almost zero room to get things wrong. And where is all that money going every month? Well, out of almost $7,000 in average monthly expenses, look at the biggest slice of the pie: housing. Over $2,000, gone, just like that. These are the big, non-negotiable costs that eat up your budget before you even have a chance to think about saving or investing. So, when you're staring down that reality, how in the world do you break out of that cycle? You need a plan, a non-negotiable step-by-step ladder for your money. This isn't a suggestion. This is your actual path to building wealth. And the most important word here is order. First, you build your shield, a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, no exceptions. Second, you attack any lingering high-interest debt with everything you've got. Third, and only after those first two are solid, you start growing your money by investing for retirement. Then you can start saving for other big goals. And notice what's dead last on this list: lifestyle upgrades. They come at the very, very end of the line. Which brings us to the number one mistake, the single biggest trap that makes all that hard work of getting out of debt completely pointless. It's something called lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is this quiet, insidious tendency to let your spending rise right alongside your income. You know the feeling. You get a raise and you immediately think, you know what, I deserve a nicer car. We deserve a fancier vacation. The problem is, this completely, totally erodes any financial progress you could have made. And this really shows the two paths you can take. On the left, that's the common path. Your income goes up, and that extra money immediately flows out to a new car payment, more dinners out, more shopping. And the results? You're still living paycheck to paycheck, just a more expensive version of it. But on the right, that's the wealth-building path. The extra money gets deliberately pointed to the next step on that wealth ladder we just talked about. The result there? Actual financial freedom. Let's look at the simple, brutal math here. Say you get a $500 a month raise. Awesome, right? Before, you were saving $200 a month. But with lifestyle creep, your expenses, a new car lease, more subscriptions, also go up by $500. So what's your net savings now? It's still just $200. You've made zero progress, even though you're earning more money. That raise effectively just vanished into thin air. Okay, we've seen the problem, we've seen the trap, and we've seen the right way forward. So what is your next financial move? How do you actually take control of this, starting right now? Here is your action plan. First, tonight, calculate your emergency fund number. What do you need to cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses? Get that number. Second, automate everything. Set up automatic transfers to your savings and investments. Make it happen without you thinking about it. Third, become a detective. Go back and look at your last 3 months of spending. Find the lifestyle creep. And finally, the most important rule of all: stick to the wealth ladder. No matter what, no excuses.
Let's end on this one critical idea. This isn't just about being good with money. It's about strategy. Getting the order of operations right is what separates the people who are just financial survivors, always one emergency away from disaster, from those who truly build wealth and secure their future. So the only question left is, which path are you going to choose?